Welcome to a Blender Fast Track tutorial. We're going to trace a 2D image into Blender and create a 3D object. Firstly, we'll delete the default cube. Next, press N on the keyboard to open up your numeric panel on the right hand side. There's an entry called Background Images. We'll drop that down, click Add Image. At this stage you'll notice that panel is greyed out. Check the box at the top. Press Open, navigate through to where you've saved your 2D image. Now at this stage there's no image viewable in the viewport. Reason being is you need to firstly be in orthographic view rather than perspective view. Pressing 5 on the numeric keypad will bring you into orthographic view. Next you need to look directly in an axis, so pressing 7 will give us a top down view and our image is now visible. Pressing 1 will give you the front view, 3 side view, and as soon as you go off axis your image disappears. So to trace this we can simplify it as much as you can. Start with a circle in this instance, S to scale up our circle, G to grab, position it over the top. Try and get it as close as you can. It's much easier if you get it right first off, much harder to fix down the track, so try and get your tracing as close as you can. You'll notice at this point our curve has got some train tracks, or what looks like train tracks around it. That signifies that it's a 3D curve. For tracing purposes, a 2D curve is what we're after. In your far right hand panel, go across the menu and find Object Data. Click on that and this brings up the object data for that circle. We want to go to 2D image. Now if I click on a vertex and move in the up or down Z-axis, it doesn't move. Pressing 7 back to our top down view. Now our logo is now obscured by the circle. Pressing Z will give us a transparent view. What we're going to need to do is cut that inside logo area. We do that by adding another curve. We'll add a Bezier curve, and this will act as a boolean and cut through the circle. Right click to pick up your vertices, left click to drop. Much like using the pen tool in Photoshop, you'll get used to the controls and after a while it'll become second nature. To make a new vertex, press E to extrude, left click to drop, right click, pick up, left click to drop it down, extrude again. As I said before, if you can get your curves as neat as you can, it'll make it a lot easier down the track. I am doing this quite rough for the purpose of this tutorial. You'd want to spend a little bit more time if you're doing it for real. Okay, placing that down. Now we've come to a point where we need to close off our circles. So we want to grab our endpoint and holding down shift we pick up our start point, and by pressing F it now joins up our curves. Pressing Z you can now see that we have that logo, as rough as it is, loaded into Blender. Now what we're hoping to do is to turn this into a 3D object. To do this, on our far right hand panel in the object data for the curve, we can find extrude and we can extrude that up. Often it's better to add in the numbers. We can also bevel, and we have a 3D object. You can then convert that curve into a mesh if you need to, but at this stage a curve will give us a nice clean look. Pressing 7 again and Z we reveal our image. Now we can take the colour off that background image as well. What you need to do though is, in opacity it always shows up as 50% by default. Want to go to 100%. In our material data, new material, take our color picker and we'll pick our color off, go back to our object thing, and then we have the color. I could then duplicate the lights a few times. You probably want to add an area light. F12 to render, and we have ourselves a 3D logo.